Welcome, everybody. Let's talk about the market. Boy, it has been a lot going on. From Charles Schwab stealing $3,200 of my money. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out on my YouTube channel. And I have a Rumble channel too. I haven't really posted that Rumble channel. I just post that one for the members. Because YouTube and Google have selective censorship, and they're really a horrible organization. So I do post my videos to Rumble as well, because there is freedom of speech. But a lot's been going on. If you didn't watch my video from yesterday, Charles Schwab literally stole $3,200 of my money. It's a really good video. True story. Not making it up. Not like some personal vendetta against Charles Schwab or anything, but they're a pretty horrible brokerage. They have some serious computational problems over there. And so that's just one of many things going on with the whole Schwabi Charles. I call it Charles Schwab because I've always viewed Charles Schwab's brokerage firm as like a brokerage firm for the snobby people of the world. My big challenge is I'm going to definitely move away from that broker because when the broker's still $3,200 and don't make it right, and I don't feel like jumping in customer service and battling with them to try to get back to 3,200. I mean, even if I do it and they do make good, the confidence is, it's gone, it's shot. Who wants to be talking to customer service to get back money that never should have been lost in the first place? You know what I mean? That's just like, there's no credibility in that brokerage firm. But my problem that I have is, I hold quite a few corporate bonds, and there's not a lot of brokerages that allow you, that will be custodians, if you will, or hold corporate bonds in a retail account and also let you trade futures. There's a very limited number of brokers that do that. Now, I use the corporate bonds I've talked about this before, for several reasons. One, I earn interest on those bonds, especially if it's in my IRA, okay, or even non-IRA accounts. I'm earning interest on those bonds, so that's awesome. Okay, so it's just basically money working for me. And then two, some of those bonds are leverageable. In other words, they have margin. I can use them to do other trades, right? They're a marginable asset. So there's a lot of good things that go on to come along with having, something like corporate bonds. Even some stocks, some brokerage firms will allow you to leverage those stocks to make other trades. Okay, this is a very powerful way to trade as long as you don't overdo it, okay? So anyways, it's really hard to find a brokerage firm that'll do all that, that'll allow me to transfer my corporate bonds and also have futures. There's only a few that really do that. That's very, very limited, kind of extremely limited, because you got Schwab that bought TD Ameritrade. I think there's Morgan Stanley. I think E-Trade may let you do it. Yeah, E-Trade is, I think, owned by Morgan Stanley now. They will let you do it, but I've already looked at E-Trade. I had an account with them. They're a little bit wonky about the way they do some things over there too, so I'm not a huge fan of that platform. And one of the reasons I only allowed this transfer to Schwab is because the TOS platform is absolutely awesome. It's a great platform. That piece of software is really, really good. I'm going to, before we continue with the video about what the market's doing, I'm going to show you another broker that I really like, but I'll talk about why I can't switch to them, but he's a really good broker. All right, this is tastytrade, okay? tastytrade is a really good platform. Their software, and I think they do have a downloadable software. It's not quite as good as TOS, but it's pretty doggone good, okay? They've got trading platforms here. And it's pretty good. Here's the desktop version right here. You have a browser. I would download the desktop one because I like using desktop applications. They're usually more stable. I don't like doing stuff through the browser. It's very cheesy. So they have a pretty good piece of software, and they also allow you to trade futures, which you see this: stock, options, futures, crypto. Guess what? No corporate bonds. Commodities, they do the indices, options on futures, even crypto. They're a really great broker. Now, why do I like this broker so much? These are the guys that created the TOS platform software many years ago. We're talking well over 10, 15 years ago now. They actually started it. It was Tom and a couple other guys over there that owned Tasty Trade. They started the TOS platform. They created it. They put the money up. They got all the financing. They wrote that awesome piece of software. They sold it to TD Ameritrade for a huge, I mean, it was that sale. They made tens of millions of dollars off that sale. And basically, they became wealthy, right? Tom and the guys over there at Tasty Trade, that's how they got most of their wealth, was selling the TOS platform to TD Ameritrade. It was a huge transaction for them. So kudos to those guys for that. And then eventually TD Ameritrade coughed it up and gave it over to Charles Schwab. And TD Ameritrade did a pretty good job with the TOS platform. They honored it. It was a pretty good platform. They had their little problems in the beginning too, but they got it squared away and ended up being a really good broker. Charles Schwab is not. Charles Schwab is your typical gobble up other brokers, do a horrible job of it. They made a mess of the migration. Anyways, I already detailed all that in my previous video. Watch it, like I said. But here, I would really like to go with these guys. Their commissions are reasonable. They're not great, but they're reasonable. And my only problem is I have corporate bonds. And I don't want to liquidate my bonds. I make good money on the bonds. And, they're part of my retirement plan. And I don't want to liquidate them. So this is the problem. Think about Fidelity. They're a huge broker. They're really good at almost everything. The only thing is they don't do futures. They do options. They will allow you to have corporate bonds, all that stuff. So very limited. I might have to look at Morgan Stanley again, unfortunately. But I haven't made my decision yet. I'm going to keep pecking around and looking to see what I can find. But Charles Schwab is an absolute no-go. I'm telling you right now, their computational accounting is totally hosed. And I know that for a fact because I've seen it with my own eyes. Horrible. And guys and gals, just so you know, my background for over 30 years has been software development. So I know when I see bad logic. I mean, plus anybody can do simple math. So really bad stuff going over there at Charles Schwab. I don't think they're going to fix that mess anytime soon. I think it's going to play out for many years to come. They're going to get sued. They already are sued. They're just not talking about it. It's really bad over there at Charles Schwab. I think they lost a lot of talent. They don't have the top-notch people because there's only so much talent to go around the world, guys. Guys and gals, that's the truth. There's only so much top talent to spread around. Software development community is actually kind of small. The best software developers, okay, and the best talent for what you need to run a brokerage firm, that's limited. Okay, there aren't a lot of people that know how to do that. And when you start to compromise the talent, you're going to compromise the logic, and that's exactly what's happened. All right, so let me get back to the video. We'll talk about the charts. All right, so here we are, and TD Ameritrade. I'm going to kind of go through this a little bit quick. Let me get the right color here. TD Ameritrade, sorry. Back on the TOS platform here with Charles Schwab. This is the Dow Jones Transportation. We can see that we had these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 massive up days, and we had 2 pretty good down days going on here. So there's something, kind of going on here where that July 30th or the first week of August cycle low, it looks like it's starting to make good here, right? So that's what's going on there in my opinion. We'll see how far this pulls back. Okay, let's go look at the Russell 2000. I'm going to kind of chop through these a little quick, so hang with me. Russell 2000. Let me switch over to the daily. Same thing here. It's pulling back, not quite a lot, but today was a big day. Today was a range of about almost 72, almost all of it red. And you can see it's finished way down here, daily chart. It has a September 23rd cycle low way out here. Okay, but there is like right about here, right around this area, is a cycle low due on some of the indices and some other products. So the Russell 2000 will probably respond in kind. It just may not be quite as deep. So we'll see what happens with that. So both the Dow Jones Transportation and the Russell 2000 both look like they're having a bit of a pullback here. And I believe, as I said yesterday to my members on the Discord server, by looking at the 1 hour chart, especially on the NASDAQ, okay, I saw the NASDAQ going negative momentum on the 2 hour. I think it was a 2 hour chart actually. The 1 hour and 2 hour charts were, I think it was a 1 hour chart, was starting to show some negative momentum. And that's a big deal, guys. And I think I saw a 2 hour chart on the NASDAQ also starting to show some weakness. Let's switch over to NASDAQ real quick here. I don't normally do this, but we're going to do it today. Let me look at the 2 hour chart here. And yeah, look at that, guys. Look at this negative momentum going on in the NASDAQ. Big time negative momentum. Okay, if we put on the directional indicator that I have, this is for the members now. The members get this every night in email. Look at this. Going red. Okay, going red. So the NASDAQ, believe it or not, is leading the way down. The Russell 2000 2 hour chart, still not red. Look at it, it's still green. Momentum is still way up here. So you can see the Russell 2000 is nowhere near negative momentum. It's way down here. It's a long way to go for that, if it even gets there. Okay, and then we'll look at the SPX. If I can get my act together here. And guess what? It's trying to go negative. Not quite there yet. Almost there. Like barely hanging on. In fact, technically speaking, right now, as of today, the close of the, I guess that was 3 o'clock, 3:15 when the SPX closed, both the blue and vanilla lines are negative. So it's official that the SPX has gone negative territory momentum on the 2 hour chart. Just barely, but it's done it. Okay, the Russell 2000 is the only one that hasn't done it. Okay, let's look at the S&P 500 futures here. And we're going to switch back to the daily chart. And let me get rid of some of the, we don't want the directional indicator on the daily chart because it doesn't really make sense on that particular chart. Okay, here we are. Okay, pretty big down day for the S&P 500 futures, 93, almost 94 range. Most of it down. It retraced a little bit here. We have about, well, the futures just closed like a minute or two ago. So this is the final for the day. We're down to 5,600. So guess what, guys? Down 121 points just in 2 days. And the cycle low is expected about smack dab right in the middle of this cycle, which is extremely common to see prices decline in the middle of a cycle. It happens a lot. So that's a cycle low expected right there, just basically one of these deals. That's right, like a butt. All right, so that's that on the daily. Let's take a look at the intraday charts and see where were the trades of the day, if any. All right, this is the 15-minute chart for the S&P 500 futures. This kind of applies to the SPX as well, guys and gals. All right, so you can look at the futures and get a feel for what's going on. So the 15-minute chart here on the futures started here last night, 5 p.m. Texas time. Okay, and then over here the futures just closed. All right. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just kind of dealing with some stuff. My mom, okay, I'm a little personal. I don't normally share personal things with anybody on the internet because I don't trust the internet as far as the fart in the wind. But my mom passed away, I think, about early last week. So, I'm just dealing with that. You know how it is. My mom lived to be 80, so she had a pretty decent life. But it's never easy losing a parent. So I kind of miss her already. And just my thoughts are still kind of fresh. And mourning my mom a little bit in her loss. So life is a little bit humdrum here, but we're moving on, right? Okay, so where was the trade of the day? Check this out. Look at this, guys. I mean, you know where the trade of the day is, right? I mean, it started right here. We're flat, straight across at 56.50 through most of the night. A little bit up, a little bit down. Okay. This happens. This is midnight, typical midnight. Then we see a 3 o'clock, little 2:30, 3 o'clock. We usually see this kind of action. This is the London market doing their thing. Almost always around 3 o'clock, guys, a.m. my time here in Texas, Central Time. You're going to see something going on with the London market. This is just what they do. So if you're paying attention to that, you can pick up on it. So anyway, but even through the London market, there wasn't much going on here. It was just 56.50 all through the night. And then what happens? Right here, 9 a.m., which is about a half an hour before or half an hour, sorry, after the market opens, because in Texas the market opens at 8:30. Okay, East Coast is 9:30. So look at this candlestick, 9 o'clock. The Get Us Plus indicator says, hey, I think we got a trade. Now, if my members were paying attention, and you were paying attention to what I said on the Discord server last night or yesterday, I said the market looks like it's weak. There's some indication where the pullback going into the first week of August for the cycle low has started. So that you should be keeping that in mind. Okay. And look at this. Get a signal, 9 a.m. Look, how hard is it to figure this out? It's already dipping. It's starting to go below this red top line, the SMI here, Stochastic Momentum Index, starts giving it up, right? You take the trade short right over in this area, and it was just bombs away, all the way down to 55.90, right? All of a sudden, momentum goes super negative here. You see that? Super negative. And look at this, guys. And I've been saying this over and over again. It doesn't matter whether the market is bullish or bearish. The same thing always applies. Look at the SMI. It comes up. It just barely gets to the top here. It does nip the top line. But look where the momentum is. The momentum is extremely suppressed, if you will, right? It's negative, big time negative here on the 15-minute chart. If you look at the 5-minute chart, you probably get the same thing. Okay, but it's way down here. That tells you that when this curls over, you're going to get a big failure. That it isn't just going to take off and go to the moon, because momentum is negatory. Okay, you should be looking at the 5-minute, the 15-minute, and the 1-hour charts, by the way, to get a feel for all the momentum and all the charts. But just this alone, if you looked at just this alone, which I don't recommend you do that, but if all you did is look at the 15-minute chart here, you still would have been probably fairly safe to do that. Though I don't, like I said, I don't recommend that. You should be looking at all the charts. All right. But this was extremely negative. It curls over. You're back in the trade right about here. Bam. You pick up another what? 20 points. Right? Another 20 points. This is 5,600, 5,690, 5,680. It almost comes down to 5,670. So let's call it from about 5,600 down to about 5,575. Okay. So it's like 25 points right here. 25 points just in this drop. And here it was 5,650 down to 5,600. This was 50 points. Today was a monster 75-point day, like no problem. We're not even talking about the extreme tops and bottoms. Like we just took those out and just did the block areas. And that's a really great way to trade. Just trade right in these blocks. This one you could take it a little bit deeper. So this was either 20 or 25. Take your pick. 75 points, guys. That's $3,250 today just on one E-mini contract. You know the deal. If you trade micros, it would have been $325 just on one micro. There was no reason not to make a ton of money today in trading futures. I'm sure options traders made a bunch of money too, selling puts buying puts or whatever they do. Okay, there was a lot of strategies that could have been deployed here today for taking advantage of this big, huge pullback. All right. So I'm not even going to look at the 5-minute chart because this right here is golden. This is the kind of setups you want. You want this big dippy do, get the signal, jump in the trade. It goes negatory, stays down there forever and a day. Bam, 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 all day long. Beautiful thing. And if the market's bullish, it's exactly the opposite, right? It would be up here. It'd stay above the zero line. You would get dips. They would go up. You buy the dip. Okay, here you're selling the rip. That's why they call it buy the dip, sell the rip. You got to know which one you're in. Right now we're in sell the rip mode. Anytime you get up here and you've got negative territory, just take advantage of the dip coming down. As soon as you get past the peak, boom, sell it. All right, huge stuff today. Another monster profitable day, guys and gals. No reason not to make big money in the market. Okay, you just got to be smart about it. I like small to medium positions. I don't care what kind of market you're in. Small to medium positions will always save your backside. This way, if you make a mistake, you don't crush your account. Just keep it small to medium. Resist the temptation to go with large positions. Okay, because you can still make solid, consistent money on small to medium positions, guys. That's the way to trade. Don't get too big for your britches. Just trade. You're trying to make steady income, steady cash flow. throughout your entire career, throughout your entire life. You're just looking to bring the money, keep bringing the money in, just keep bringing it in. Okay, resist the temptation to go for the gold at the end of the rainbow kind of nonsense. Okay, don't treat the stock market or the futures market or any market like it's a lottery. You're going to hit the jackpot. Okay, it can happen. Once in a while, people do nail that with options or futures, but that's going to be kind of rare events, right? You shouldn't be taking those kind of chances very often. Just keep it small to medium. All right. If you want to become a member, there's a link in the video, right below the video in the description. I'll also make it the top comment. So just look in the comment section of the video. You'll see a link in there. Just read those instructions. Click the discord.com link. You can join the server. It's only $7.99. All right. There's all kinds of goodies going on there. You got streaming charts for the S&P 500, the 5-minute to 15-minute, 1 hour. You got streaming charts for gold. So when you join, just ask me about that. Hey, get us, where's the gold streaming charts? I'll give you the link for that. There's a nightly email that goes out every night. I put out email. You get 5 different charts in that email. You get the 3 2-hour directional charts, which I showed those today. Remember, I showed the NASDAQ, the SPX, and the Russell 2000 with the green and red line. That's directional indicator. Really awesome for swing traders. And I also include 2 other charts. That's the daily and the weekly S&P 500 futures charts. So really nice. You get a whole suite of charts that helps keep you on track. All right. Also, I put a couple sentences in there about my opinion about what I think the market's going to do. Yesterday's email, last night when I put it out, I told members, I said, tomorrow's going to be a down day. Cha-ching, nailed it. Today was a monster down day. Am I always right? No, I'm not always right. But I do always make an honest effort to tell members what I think the next day is going to do. Now, how many people do that? How many services give you your opinion about what they think the market's going to do the next day? Most people don't even touch out the 10-foot pole. They're too afraid of being wrong. All right, so they never talk about it, but I do every day. Okay. Let's see what else. There's video. I do daily videos for the members Monday through Thursday. Okay, yes, the public gets to see the videos, but this video is also put on the Discord server and you can watch the video right on the server, okay? The public doesn't get access to that Discord server unless they're a paying member. So, okay, they don't get the nightly email. They don't get to see everything else. They don't get to see my comments on the Discord server about, like last night when I put out my comment that said, hey, I think the pullback going into first week of August has started. Okay, they don't get to see that. Sometimes I post charts in the Discord server that only members get to see. So there's a lot of things that only members get. Okay, the $7.99 is an absolute steal. All right. Well, the rest of the world's jacking up the prices and everything because of inflation. I kept my prices the same. All right, so take advantage of it while you can. All right, that's it. Happy trading, everybody. God bless everybody. Talk to all real soon again next time.